Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel and welcome to Rock Chick Week. Not too long ago, I made a big deal out of purchasing my favorite series from my favorite author, the Rock Chick series by Kristen Ashley, and it was my first time owning the books in physical form. I had only ever owned the ebook versions, and I bit the bullet and spent a very large amount of money buying 8 books all at one time. I have reread all 8 books, and if you're familiar with my channel, I occasionally do something called the Sunday Rewind, where I make a video about a book that I've reread. Well, I've reread 8 books. So starting this week on today's Sunday Rewind, I'm going to be posting a rewind video for each of the Rock Chick books all the way to next week's Sunday Rewind, where I'll finish up with the last one. So I hope you guys aren't quite sick of me talking about this series just yet. Just give me this one more week to talk about this series, and then I promise I will try to not bring it up again. I should probably mention that the Rock Chick series is contemporary romance. However, it has quite an edge. It's not all about the romance. It's just a large majority about the romance. But there's always some other aspect. There's always some other conflict. There's usually some endangered lives involved in each of these books. Today, Sunday Rewind, on actual Sunday, I want to talk to you about the first book in the Rock Chick series. This is just straight up Rock Chick. This is the story of India Savage and Liam Nightingale. Now, the most cohesive part of this entire series revolves around Lee Nightingale. He owns a security and private investigations firm, and each one of these books has to do with someone in his employ or someone who is a best friend of his. Now, the Rock Chicks do form their own group throughout the course of the series. However, the women in these books come from different origins. The men are sort of the group of friends or co-workers, and they find a Rock Chick, and then she becomes a Rock Chick. Anyways, it'll become more clear, hopefully, throughout the rest of the week. But this is the story about Lee and Indy. And those two grew up together. Their fathers were both police officers, and their mothers were best friends. India's mom died, and so she was partially raised by Lee's mother, who stepped in to help her father. And Indy also is best friends with Lee's sister, Allie, who incidentally has her own book. We'll be talking about her later. But all her life, Indy was in love with Lee Nightingale, and all their life, Lee Nightingale treated her like a sister. So it got to the point when they got into their early 20s when Indy decided she was done. She was not going to pine for Lee Nightingale anymore, no matter how much of a badass he became, and no matter how irresistible he remained. She was done. And that was just about the time that Lee Nightingale wished that Indy Savage would not start ignoring him. So that's the origin of their love story. But Indy finds herself in the middle of some trouble. She owns a used bookstore, and one of her employees kind of in the business of growing pot, and he pisses off some very dangerous people, and Indy kind of gets caught in the crossfire. At that point, Lee steps in to sort of set things straight, and chaos ensues. Now, the whole point of Indy being the original Rock Chick, or one of the original Rock Chicks, is that she's a loose cannon. She likes rock and roll. She likes being sassy. She likes getting her nose into things that, you know, quite frankly, it's dangerous for her to get her nose into. And all of the Rock Chick series is about alpha men. These men are badasses. These men are strong-willed, and some may say a little bit demanding and overbearing. But as far as romance tropes go, that's not unusual, right? We've seen that before. The girls give as good as they get. They are not doormats. They are not easily swayed by the will of their man. They definitely put up a fight, and they definitely can take care of themselves. It just so happens they've met their match. And throughout the process of Lee getting Indy out of danger, their childhood relationship blossoms into something that is very serious and very lasting. I do have to admit that the first book, Rock Chick, is actually my least favorite book in the entire series. All of the Rock Chick books have over a 4-star rating on Goodreads. However, this Rock Chick book is rated the lowest. Still over 4 stars, yet the lowest. It's a shame because I think Indy is kind of annoying. Indy and Allie are kind of annoying characters in this book. And this book sort of sets the stage for the rest of the series. I can only imagine that sometimes people pick up Rock Chick to read it and end up being turned off, when in reality the rest of the series is very, very good. This book is still good. Don't get me wrong. It's still good. I still read it. It's also like the shortest one at, 390 pages. It is the shortest book in the series. I found rereading it that it was still my least favorite. It was originally, and it is still. And I never feel like I get a good read on who Lee Nightingale is. He is in a lot of Kristen Ashley books, not just these 8. I have spoken before about Kristen Ashley having her own universe, kind of like the Marvel universe, and Lee Nightingale makes cameo appearances across different series. Of all of the heroes of these novels, Lee remains the most difficult to understand, or the most difficult for me to imagine in the flesh, if that makes any sense. And I think that has something to do with this book. I think that maybe that's where this book kind of derails for me. I just don't get a good sense of who he is. That's Rock Chick. That's the first book in the Rock Chick series. Thank you for joining me for my impromptu Rock Chick week, and I will be back with another video tomorrow.